So what we want to build here is a chatbot that serves as, let's say, somewhere for people to consult, and it should retrieve everything with the source link. So for example, I've already sent these videos. These are some of the videos that hey, blue collar edge, how are you? I've already sent some of these videos, some videos that from my original channel over to this channel right here, which is just a test channel for us to test out the features from this AI chatbot. This is the Gemini. What I want from it is to understand all the transcripts. So at some point here, I talk about, let's say, unless you want to use that as well. Since we're focusing on Gemini 2.5 Pro, this is an upcoming event from Google. Right here, I talk about an upcoming event from Google. So it should understand exactly where I talked about that and retrieve exactly this point of the video. So what it should retrieve is, let's say, copy video URL at current time. This is the URL it should send back. Okay? Google I/O, and I believe along with a response. This video is still being processed. Video quality, okay, that doesn't really matter for now. Great. To do that, we need to first send the entire video. So we first need to grab the transcriptions. Grab video transcriptions. Send them to vector database. Retrieve, answer user. That's all. It's just this, but they ramify. So grabbing all the video transcriptions, this first we need to actually go through the YouTube API. And we first need to get video IDs, and then we need to get transcription IDs. I think they're called captions in YouTube. Caption IDs. And after we get the caption IDs, and then we download caption IDs. And finally, let me take a look at, yeah. And finally, transform to text. And when they're transformed to text, then we can follow along with this part of sending everything to the vector database. After we send everything to the vector database, let me think. I guess we should use like two tables, one for the YouTube channel, YouTube videos, and another one for the chunks, because that way we can keep track of, we can keep track of what is already inside the database, and then only store the chunks like that. So let's do it. First, let's just focus on this part right here. So starting off with a blank canvas, let's start with the trigger. Use the YouTube node, and I've already set my credentials. It's pretty simple. I believe there's a lot of videos inside of the iForge explaining that. Get many videos, yeah, that's what I want. We can choose to return all the videos or just one video. I suppose let's just make it return one video, because we don't want to like waste our quotas from Google API. I'm not really sure how much quota it wastes, but sometimes I get out of quotas, and that's really annoying. Okay, executing that. Just by doing this, I already got the 2 items, which are my 2 videos right here. Nice. After this, I want to get the transcripts. To get the transcripts, I know that YouTube doesn't really have yeah, you like through the nodes inside of n8n, there's no way to get those captions. So we need to use an HTTP request node. Great. Let me check something here. And retrieve exactly. Okay, yeah, my audio is fine. For the URL, let's see. Captions, Google API, YouTube. So I want to list the captions available. It's this endpoint right here. Let's copy that over here without this get. The authentication should be a predefined credential type of YouTube, and then we select the auth to API. This right here. Query parameters should be I don't really think I mean, it's required, isn't it? Yeah. Let's just place in part and then snippet. So part, snippet, video ID, and then what we're placing in there is the video ID from the past node. This guarantees that when I have more than one items, they will all get loaded. Actually, I forgot to set this to a limit of 1, so it doesn't waste our quotas. Okay, hopefully this will get us the captions. Nice. So this isn't exactly the captions. They are, but just their ID. There's another endpoint we need to use to actually get the downloadable captions, which is download. So it's basically just slash and then the ID of that caption. Let me get this ID right here. Drag it there. I can now remove this. I don't believe this is needed. Test step. There it is. So for now, let's pin this there. Let's pin that there as well. We won't waste those and it'll be much faster. Now that we have that, we have to download it. I always forget the name of the node to download this. I think it's to file something. Yeah, extract from file. Nice. Extract to text. Nice. Awesome. So this is the complete caption for our video. Nice. This was faster than I predicted. Okay. Let's understand this structure because it's kind of... Actually, let me just download this. Drag it up there. Ah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, so they're separated by /n, then /n/n. Let's see. /n/n, right? Okay, nice. This time, okay. Cool. Now that we have this, we need to send everything from here over to our Supabase instance, which is this. Supabase vector store, add documents to vector store. Let's place in the credentials for our vector store. Let me drag this over here so this isn't leaked. Okay. Now the table editor. Cool. Okay, so there should be no tables in here. Only this match documents, which isn't exactly the table. Let's go over to the docs. This should provide us a way to use, like, to create the vector store. Quick start for setting up your vector store right here. Perfect. Okay, so this creates the extension, creates the table. The table will have an ID, a content, the metadata, the embedded vector, and the function to match documents. Okay, grab all that, go over to Supabase. I think this might fail because I already created this extension before. Let's go over to the SQL editor, hit run. Vector, extension vector already exists. Nice. So let's just remove that line, hit run again. Function already exists. Nice. So we only need to create the table, hit run once again. It'll create the table we need. Now, going over to table editor, there is our table. And we can use that table right here as soon as it updates. But actually, that's not the only table we're going to use. We actually need to create two tables. So one is for YouTube as well. It's like for the videos, actually. So let me change this in a second. I believe you need to add the ID. Not sure. I think it's just an EID, which is generated automatically. Automatic. Then we need name of video. Updated? No. Uploaded date. And I think that's it. Does it need to be updated? Does the video need to be updated at this point? Like, I don't think so. I think we need to draw this out better. So, okay. We have a couple videos. Each video will have its own transcription. So for example, this one might have, I don't know, 5 chunks. That's actually just 3 chunks. Let's place 3. 3 chunks. Okay. So the way we're going to store this is all these 3 are going to be placed inside the document table. Trying to think if we need to keep track, like if we need to keep track of the videos, or if this is something that would be done just one time. Because the idea is we need a script that will understand when a new video is uploaded, and then whenever that new video is uploaded, it should always transcribe it. Or for now, we can just focus on transcribing the videos that we already have. And then we don't have to bother about like having like a list of the already uploaded videos. Yeah, let's start from that. Let's start from just one table and move on from there. So let me go back here, hit F5. Should have pinned down. Now we get the documents there, embedding batch size. Let me see, number of documents to embed in a single batch. Okay, let me remove this. Let's hit test workflow. As soon as this runs, let me pin this down. And you can actually remove this, place it like that. So it's not always downloading the same thing over and over. Okay. Match documents. This is what the function we need to use. Embedding batch size. This wasn't like this before. Number of documents to embed in a single batch. Wow. Document, default data loader. Load a specific data. This is the specific data I want to load. Metadata, this is very important. So the metadata now is where we actually place the metadata that we will use in the future to download and use only that specific link, only like the exact minute and second of the video. So for the metadata, let's place in this is the exact place where I need to get this structured, or else it won't work. Yeah, so I need to write a code. Need to have a code node that transforms this into a structured element. Yeah, I can structure everything here and already trim it. So I do the chunking part manually instead of just letting it up to the retrieving process, like the RAG process. Okay. So instead of us doing this on our own, let me grab just this amount of data. Let's head over to Gemini. Gemini is kind of bad lately. Let's see if it's working now. So I need a code for my code node that structures this into Yeah, so we actually only don't need, we only need the text, right? We only need the text inside the data. Because then we'll place everything in here, like the text in here, and for the metadata, there is where we place like the time. So yeah, this has to be an array of objects in which I have text and timestamp. Three parameters. Actually, we don't need the end time, do we? The first, yeah, I hope I was clear here. Let's see if Gemini isn't failing. Yeah, I was about to say, while this is loading, let me head over to other LLMs and ask them to build it as well. DeepSeek? Okay, this is what it got us. Hate that much comments, but nice. I think it returned everything as I expected. It just shouldn't return the data as well. Oh, this is so glitchy. Look at this. Why is it like that? Yeah, really strange. Let's go back to Gemini and ask it. But for what it got right, it's perfect. It seems really exactly what I wanted. Nice, nice. This is what I wanted. Structured data, yeah. I just didn't want it to be like that. Let's see if it can return just the chunk results. Yeah, that's how I want it. Nice. So now it's returning 36 items. Each one of these items are going to be inserted in a loop inside of the Supabase vector store. And unfortunately, we have to do it like that because that's the only way we can assign the metadata for each of these individual chunks. So let's place it there. Let's pin this. And let's actually see if this is exactly, if this isn't like wrong or anything. So this is our transcript. This is the Gemini 2.5 Pro Trend Finder from FirePro. This is Gemini from FirePro, blah, blah, blah. And then it finishes with that. Okay. And then it starts in npm run start. Yeah. And it starts at 13,280. 13,280. Perfect. Perfect. That's what we wanted. Nice. Great. Now the data will be the text. Awesome. Start time. Could place it in like that. Now I'm thinking here. I don't think we should save it as a URL. Because, or we should actually. Start time. Let's save it as a URL already. Because what I'm thinking is like later we're going to have to ask the LLM to transform this over to a URL. If we just do this programmatically, it's better because it will already have access to the URL. For us to use the URL copy at the exact time, it's that structure, but then we need to get the URL, like the actual the video URL, which is found over here. Okay. Let's do that. So the time is like this. I don't know the name to this, the way to set this time. But basically how I do it is, let's include this back. I saw that like this. And now I'm gonna go all the way up here and say something like const video ID equals to I don't think that works here. YouTube video ID. Yeah, but that's like the first. That kind of sucks doing it like that. Run once for all items, but then we don't have all items. We only have one. Yeah, video ID. It should get the video ID referring to like this execution. But yet again, we don't have the execution, like the current execution, since this is a single item. Yeah. Let's make it execute 2 videos. Remove this. And that. Let's let it go all the way there. Darn it. Remember this as well. Pin that, pin this. This can't be pinned. Pin this as well. Okay. So this was already wrong. Like this gets the last execution, but it gets only the first item, which is wrong. We need it to get all the items. Yeah, I'm forgetting something here. Item matching. Yeah, it's not ID. Actually, it is. ID, then video ID. Okay. Yeah, I have to understand like which item. Tricky situation. If I drag it like that, it will show me the first one. If I drag it like this, wait a second. This may be right. It's right because it's already running the, like, this first is referring to what it's running currently, so it should identify everything correctly. Let's make sure that this is correct. Let's log that. Let me inspect console, clear everything, test step. Okay, it logged once. Yeah, it's always getting the first element. Yep, that was the problem. I have to toggle this, so run once for each item, because this way it'll understand that I have an item. Nice. This item is a JSON. In this JSON we have an ID. In this ID we have a video ID, and this is different from for each case. Great. And now input is it input? No, input JSON. Let's test this. Code doesn't return a single object. An array of objects was returned. If you need to output multiple items, please use the run once. Oh, yeah, I got it. So now we can't output it like that. Now it has to be like Gemini suggested before. Like this. Will that work? Yeah, it has to be an object because... And it won't be exactly like I want it to be. Let's make it data, and then this data have an array of objects. There you go. Okay. Nice. And now if we inspect, go over to console, we successfully get video ID here, video ID here. That's great. Yeah, this is an alert. Oh yeah, this alert is because like the same problem down there, if it ever gets to this part, it'll bug out. So let's just remove the array around it and we should be fine. It doesn't need to have this JSON, but yeah, whatever. Save. Let's pin this. Actually, let's not pin the data. Let's do what we wanted to do before, which is placing in the video, the URL for the video. Let's change this. This is my current code since we changed it a bit. Okay, this is how it outputs the data. At the beginning, at the start of the code, it gets the video ID. Is that a combination or the so this should be This should go fine. Because now that it has the video ID and the time, like the time that it starts, all it needs is to just add this and change the time like to this format. There we go. See? Gemini is failing today. Why Gemini? Let's retry. Or else we can just grab everything. Go over to Grock. Wow, Grock is fast. I mean, Gemini is giving something here, but yeah, Gemini just does not want to build anything today. Let's check this out. Okay. Let me grab this link down here. First place. Okay. So start time 2:14. Let's go all the way down to at 51 seconds of the video. This should be the URL. And what it's doing is just perfect. Okay. So I got that right. Nice. We're changing over to Grock now. Now in the default loader, we're going to use this text. Start time will be this right here. We also have the property URL, which will be this. URL can be placed like that. I think we're good to go. Now the text splitter, character text splitter, we don't really need the text to be split. There's no separator we need to use. Chunk size doesn't really matter because we already chunked it like 250 characters. Chunk overlap doesn't matter as well. So yeah, we can just leave it default like that. It won't really matter. Now we need an embedding. Let's use OpenAI's embedding. OpenAI, yeah, we need a credential for that. Let me create it in the other tab here. Log in. Wow, my token. I've spent a lot of tokens lately. Project default projects, Chatbot AI. Create key, copy key, and send this over here. Let's hit save. For time. Text embedding 3 small. Yeah. Save. Nice. Am I forgetting something? Probably. But not that I know of. So let's test this out. Let's see if it sends everything over to our Supabase vector store. Okay, seems like it's done. Let's refresh this. Let's see what we got. Okay, yeah, it's already wrong because we only got one. Okay, let's see what happened. Yeah, it's probably because of the data. Yeah, we have to split the data. Split out. It's not. It's actually not splitting out the data. Or is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, since I split out the data, let's see how this works. Let's import this text back here. Yeah, everything needs to be closed. URL is going to be this. Nice. Let's go back there. Delete everything we had here. Test the workflow again. That should take a bit longer since it's sending 90 items. Okay, 90 items were sent. F5. Nice. This is what we wanted. This YouTube link should work.
This is the
perfect. And there we go. We have the complete embedding. Nice. So we did this process right here. That's done. I think that was like the harder part. Let me erase this, or else it's going to confuse us. Okay, this is done. Transform to text, sent over to the vector database. So this is done, this is done. Now we need to create the workflow to retrieve everything and answer back the user. To retrieve everything, and send it back to the user. Let's trigger it with the chat trigger. Let me think, which question should I make? I think we could use that example that I mentioned earlier.
and then they have
at some point here,
forward your key over. Heard of this approach is different. That's the but I topics API key right here. Place that.
Was it this video that I talked about OpenAI? I mean Google. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, right here.
Upcoming event from Google, Google I/O.
Okay. That will be the question. Now we need to place an AI agent. This AI agent will be a tools agent that will be connected to a Supabase tool. This Supabase tool already has the Supabase account. Tool description will be set automatically. Not sure about that. Sometimes, yeah, maybe we should change that eventually. This isn't the tool we want to use, actually. This is the tool I want to use. The Supabase vector store, because this tool allows us to include the metadata in the response. So let's place in something like transcription knowledge base. Work with your data in Supabase vector store. Fetch the YouTube videos video transcription, which is the nice. Documents, limit, we'll search only for query name, metadata filter, no need to mess with that. Embedding, we have to use the same embedding that we used previously, which is text embedding 3 small. Chat model, let's use OpenAI. Let's use the new model. Actually, yeah, just 4.1 nano should be fine. Okay. Now is the more harder part because you need a system prompting. The system prompt, I wrote it before. Let me just grab it here. It's in one of my previous projects. So this was a prompt that I created for another client. Before I had to create an entire package inside of NPM, which was this package right, come on, open. This package right here, n8n node source document retriever QA chain. Because then with this, it allowed me to grab the metadata from inside Supabase vector store, which wasn't available before. And so this other system prompting has some specifications from the client, and I don't want to leak it. So I'm just asking Claude to recreate this for me. Yeah, so let's go part by part since it created a pretty messy prompt here for me. So role and objective. You are a helpful and friendly AI assistant for a financial educational brand. That's not true. YouTube channel. So it picked up on some of the client's thing. Your primary objective is to assist students by answering their questions accurately and concisely, based solely on the educational material provided to you through your tools. I won't place this in plural because there's only one tool, and I've noticed that sometimes when you specify multiple tools, it tries to use some other tool and then it fails miserably. Hey, welcome, Domenico Milano. Hello. Core persona and responsibility. Let me get me this in a markdown structure. Nice, much better. Okay. Core persona and responsibilities. Let me remove this for a YouTube channel. Your primary objective based solely on educational materials provided by your tool. Core persona and responsibilities. Engage with students in a friendly and conversational tone. Find answers within provided context. So the fun part is that you can add all type of materials to the Supabase vector store. In this case, like for this client, I added a ebook. So I just sent everything from the ebook over to the Supabase vector store as well. YouTube video transcriptions resolve queries completely based on available information. Refuse requests outside your designated function. Primary tool documents knowledge base. The primary tool doesn't have that name. Let me open it here instead of closing that. Let me get the tool name right here. It's transcription knowledge base. So let me search documents knowledge base. That's the only place that it's cited. Okay, nice. Description: finds chunks. Primary tool finds chunks of transcriptions across all available sources. Across YouTube videos. This really isn't needed because the tool is already placed inside of the prompting, but just to ensure that it works. Crucial instructions: always use this tool before answering any questions. Any question. This is your only permitted information source. Never guess or invent answers. Workflow rules: query processing. Carefully analyze each question. Always use the tool to search before responding. Do you see how much times I emphasize that it should use the tool to answer? Like, this is needed most of the times. And this right here, OpenAI prompts. This right here, prompting guide. This is fantastic. Every time your prompt isn't working that well, just come over here, Control-A, Control-C, copy it, send it over to Gemini, and ask Gemini to remake to redo your prompt based on all these instructions from this OpenAI guide. It should work. Great. So workflow rules: query processing, carefully analyze each question. We can create a RAG with this doc. Yeah, exactly. Not this specific doc, but what we're doing right here is a complete RAG. So if you have any other documents, you have an ebook or anything else, you can just send it over to the Supabase vector store, just like it's being done right here. Except you wouldn't have all this process up here. You would just have probably the text and just send it over. And as for the metadata, it's not even needed for an ebook because the pages are already placed in here. See, this only gets line from 1 to 1. That's because this isn't book, so we don't really matter about this. And we could even remove this in the creation of. Yeah, let's not get into that, or else we're going to get really in this. I mean the OpenAI document. We can create a RAG with. Yeah, perfectly. You could just copy all this and send it over to RAG. But I don't think this would be necessary, unless you feel like it. Okay, what do we have now? Yeah, we were creating the system prompts. Okay, crucial instructions. Always use this tool before answering a question. This is carefully analyze each question. Answer formulation-based responses only on tool retrieval information. Keep answers concise. Max 3 relevant sources. Source citation mandatory. YouTube videos. Video title, timestamp. This is in Portuguese. Let's change it over to minute. Right? Plain URL. Okay. Let's actually get exactly the same, the same structure that we placed. Let's see if that's we want it. So YouTube, then example, video ID, example, then time. Okay. Module name. No, There are no ebooks, so let's erase that. No information responses. If nothing is found, respond exactly with. I did not. I did not find anything in the videos. That should be fine. Formatting guidelines. Language. Let's change this to. We don't really need to place anything here. Bold. Seems like DeepSeek cut my. Yeah, it completely cut it. Let me get this. But here, really, it's simple. Like, we don't need an ebook example. All we need here is the response template being something like answer. Let's see what it's building here. Because since it was answering me in Markdown, it broke at some point. Yeah, it just broke again. Name of the video, minute, link. We didn't really get the name of the video, right? Yeah, that's something that we should add. Yeah, let's do this right. Let's place in the name of the video here. So first off, let me delete everything that we got here. Delete all rows. Delete. First, to add everything, first add like the name of the video. We're gonna have to add it right here. Let me highlight video ID. Find where it's being used. Okay, right there. Nice. Let's add. Actually, before we do all of this, let's find out if we get the video name. Yeah, we do. We're right here. Nice. So let's just add this. Is my audio fine? Yeah. I think it's fine. I can only hear my clickings. I can only hear my... Okay, yeah. Title. And then let's drag in this right here. Nice. Let me remove this. Test workflow. There we go. Title of the video right there. Let's drag all the way down here to see if it changes. Video example for AI chatbot stream. Up here, it's second video example. Perfect. Save that. Drag this in here. Now in this node right here, we need to add one more property. This property will grab, should be exactly this. So now it will have a title. This will have title. Save that. I think we could just run it. F5. And now we get the title in there just as we need it. Perfect. So now we can go back to the AI agent and go to the system prompting. and place it in right here. Great. Let's see if just with that we can find something. So Google Events. Not sure if with this question it'll find anything, but let's see how the system prompting reacts to this. Seems like it still didn't really understand that it has to use a tool. Started using the tool, nice. That's already interesting. Taking really long now. Wow, why is it taking so long? Okay, nice. It identified it correctly, but it didn't get me the exact structure I expected. So let's go back to the system prompting and describe and get the link. Okay, let's test that again. Wait a minute. Pause. I did something that I really shouldn't have done. Let's see. Yeah, it populated the database once again. So yeah, let's delete everything. Then just pick up 500 rows. Since we did this, I mean, how much time are we live? It's been, yeah, it's been quite a time now. Let's not play around so much. I was just about to add thumbnails as well, but never mind. What am I gonna? Oh yeah, let's test the workflow. Get everything back to the Supabase vector store. And then let's actually disable this node, because then we can't run it again. Let's rerun this and see if it returns the link that we want. It's taking way too long. I don't know if it's OpenAI. I don't know if it's Supabase. I think it's something with the LLM, like the OpenAI. DB rows needs to be deleted after the response, or is it because it's in development? It's because it's in development, to be honest. Like to get this in production, like working effectively. Yeah, there we go. Got the link right here. So let's test that link to see. And again, this link needs to respond exactly like this point of the video and this exact video. Let's see if that's what we got.
I 2.5 Pro. This is an upcoming event from Google.
Perfect. Yeah, so as for your question, like to get this to a point where it's ready for development, there's a lot of, what's it called? There's a lot of, oh, I forgot the name. Like, yeah, there's a lot of issues that you have to try to, edge cases. Yeah, there's a lot of edge cases that you have to review. So one of them is, okay, you need to update the videos because as new videos are getting inside your channel, you want them to be sent to the vector base as well. So are you going to do this automatically? Is it possible to do this automatically? So not through like the default n8n nodes, not currently. So then you'd have to use, I think it's something called Google Push API. I'm not sure if it's push notifications. Yeah, I don't think it's push notifications, but it's something from Google. Like it's some API that detects when like an action happens. Like for email, for example, inside of n8n, you can't track exactly when you receive an email. So what it does is maybe every minute, every 5 minutes or so, it fetches for your like inside of your inbox and checks out, okay, a new email was received, so send that over. And so yeah, you have to kind of figure out like how you want to like keep track of it. What works is just like creating a webhook and then creating a button like inside cursor. You'll create a Next.js application, or just like always do this locally, something like that, because this is really for internal usage. So your client will really like, he should be able to just click a button and get everything transcribed. And to do that, you can't transcribe everything like every time. So you'll have to have some kind of system of detecting what was already processed and sent over to Supabase and not send it again, right? So yeah, like a n8n Gmail trigger. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, one thing you need to think of for production is how you're going to trigger this. The other thing is how you're going to ensure that you're not always sending the same batch of transcriptions over to the Supabase vector store. Like I can do this like in the future, just like make this workflow production ready, like just ready for you guys to just sell the workflow and yeah, just make money off of a workflow like this, and really just charge for like maintaining it, right? I just feel like it's important to know how to maintain it. Um, okay, let's start a new chat with Gemini.
This is my current system records.
It answers like this. Leave it to answer in Markdown. That would be great. Yeah. Actually, I really want to do this. So sorry if I'm going past time now, but let me add the thumbnails here. It should be simple, really, or not. So let me see if, yeah, the thumbnail is already there. This should be really simple. So let me go back to Supabase. Let's delete everything that's in here once again. So that like this, you'll only be doing in development, like deleting this, like the vector store like this. Let's grab this. Along with the title, let's place thumbnail. And then the thumbnail will be, I think this size is fine. Let's check. Yep. Let's enable that. Save, test workflow. And honestly, like a lot of people use the vector store, but they don't take advantage of this, that like the metadata part, which in my opinion is like the best part of using a Supabase, like of using a vector store from Supabase. I need it to answer in Markdown and ensure it always outputs the URL of the video as well as the thumbnail. It should only fetch use one single video in the response. Let's see if it works now. Gemini is lazy today. Yeah, this seems much better. Let me place it in here. Okay. Not even gonna read it. I trust you, Grock. Let's remake this question. Okay, that was much faster now. Perfect. So yes, there's an upcoming event from Google I/O where they are expected to launch Gemini 2.5, a significant development in the language model arena. Source, and then the source exactly like we wanted. Link. Grab the link. Exactly that place.
Gemini 2.5 Pro. This is an upcoming event from.
Perfect. Let's test with another section of the video. So
for those specific trends on your own. The first thing is just grabbing a list of websites. So websites over here. And then we grab a list of tweets. Let's call it tweets, despite it being called X now. To scrape the websites, we use firecrawl. So firecrawl is being used.
This question is kind of vague, but let's see. What should we use to scrape websites? Scrape websites uses a tool called firecrawl. It not only scrapes the page data, but also sends the scrape data to an LLM for further processing. Yeah, I like this. Let's see.
It's grabbing a list of websites. So website.
So yeah, I think we're done. And like, it's very important to position, like to instruct the client that this is to search for a place inside of the video. If someone asks something like, what is this video about? Like if I make a question, what is second video example for AI chatbots live stream about? It won't understand. Like it'll try to answer. Let's see, like, what does the video talk about? And also show you exactly why this isn't like appropriate for this kind of build. So the video second blah 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 discusses how to set up and use an AI chatbot with a YouTube channel. That is definitely not what this video is about. This video is about like scraping with firecrawl. I'm not sure exactly what it was about, despite it being really recent. But yeah, this won't work exactly because of this. When I asked this question, so second video example for AI chatbot livestream, this was the query that was sent over to the vector store. This is what was returned. So these are sections of the video, right? This is just for it to consult these sections of these chunks of the video. It won't get an overall understanding of what the video was about. To do that, we would have to add a layer of summarization of the entire video, and then place that inside here as a chunking, so it would get that context. I can replace your community node I use to summarize and translate YouTube videos. Magic. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can be done with this really, really awesome. The fun part is there's a huge opportunity to sell this. I have not seen anyone doing this level of getting it as easy as a link or with the thumbnail down here. The only tough part about this is that you would have to set this up with the client. You'd have to get their YouTube APIs. That's the only hard part. You would have to talk with the client to get access to that. So kind of tricky for some clients because they won't want to expose that type of sensible data. But yeah. See you guys in the community. Thanks for watching. Till next life build.